I'm going to show you how to make an expanding job change menu, essentially setting up one hotbar with icons you can click to show another sub-menu full of options. I'm on a new character to show you how to create this system from the ground up. You'll see I have the default HUD layout and no macros, but both of those are what we need, so let's dive in, starting with putting some hotbars in the right spots. I like to use hotbar 10 for my hiding bar because it's easy to remember and unlikely to be used for important job-related things. That means I generally use hotbar 9 as the base macro menu. So I place hotbar 9 down here and 10 right above it. We need some other hotbar to copy data from that will appear on our hiding menu, so let's pull hotbar 7 over. The idea is that anything I drag onto hotbar 7 is going to show up over here on hotbar 10. First, let's create our simplest macro, something to close the menu when we don't want it showing. You could use the X or the crossed out circle icon if you like. All we need to do is type /hotbar display 10 off. Then, whenever we click this button, the menu will disappear. So clearly we need to be able to turn the menu on again to see the buttons. So we need to write the opposite on all of our category macros. When I drag this down to the menu and click it, you'll see that our hidden submenu comes back to life. Off, on. Whatever's on this bar stays put when it's turned off. But of course we don't just fill the submenu, we copy the data from somewhere else. To do that, we added our fake tank category macro. I like to add the meat of the macro before the bar displays, just to avoid any potential visual oddness. I'm going to walk you through this line step by step so you know what everything does to avoid problems down the road. Start with /hotbar copy current 7, current 10. Hotbar is obviously hotbar data. Copy means we're copying that data. The first current means the job we're copying from. 7 means the specific hotbar on that job to copy from. The second current means the job we want to paste the data to. 10 means the hotbar we want to paste to. All of these are necessary parts of the macro. Which job from, which bar from, which job to, which bar to. That means in our test macro, we're trying to copy data from our current class, bar 7, to current class, bar 10. But when we click our button, it doesn't work. You'll notice these boxes around the hotbar numbers. That means they're set as shared. Open your character configuration menu. The default button is K. Make sure the data you're copying isn't on a shared hotbar. Remember that job bars and shared bars use different data, so anything you leave on that hotbar when you toggle will look like it disappeared. We want the menu to look the same on all jobs, so we'll make sure both bars 9 and 10 are shared. When copying to a job-specific bar, use the job name and number. But when copying to a shared bar, make sure to write it like this, current 7 share 10, and make sure not to type shared. You'll see that dragging something to this job's hotbar 7 and pushing the macro will update the shared submenu. We also don't want to keep copying from our current class because once we have more than one job, we could screw up our menu. Each job has a 3-letter code that's easily visible on the experience bar. For Gladiator, it's GLA. Put that code in place of current and you'll lock your buttons to that class. To get the hotbar to display different buttons, you'll want another menu option. Let's create a button with a healer icon. You can rewrite or copy the text or use the macro copy feature by right-clicking. To show different buttons, we need to change the hotbar in the macro. Now let's drag hotbar 8 down and put something on it. Make sure hotbar 8 isn't shared. Now when we use our healer icon on the bar, the hidden hotbar changes to show what's on hotbar 8. By the way, it looks a million times better if you hide unassigned slots and disable hotbar numbers. That's how the menu works. You can see all of my basic job change categories here: tanks, healers, and 3 kinds of DPS. Each one of these buttons opens a submenu that copies a hotbar full of job change macros. I click on one and I become that job, with a few extra features like auto summon or stance. A basic job change macro looks like this: /gs change 1 Gearset. And yes, it has to end with Gearset. You can give it an icon, throw it on your bar, and all it does is change your job to the one at the top of your list, slot 1. But you can do so much more with job change macros. You can have it automatically enter tank stance or summon your pet, change your title for flavor, change with an animation or change glamour without linking, turn your helmet on or off, turn off parts of the HUD like the MP bar, automatically change to the base class if a job hasn't been unlocked. Basically, anything you can dream up. Just add the macro to your guinea pig hotbar and you're set. The possibilities are endless. How will you change jobs?